Hello to all traders and welcome back to another market review brought to you by Orbex. So we're looking at dollar currency pairs today after they've been a bit subdued by their main competitors like the euro, pound, yen, etc. We're seeing now that the dollar is a little bit on the back foot from a lot of the FX competitors, and we're seeing on the euro dollar especially another rise over the 108 handle, and this is the first time in a while, well, it's the first time we've had confirmation in a while, and we're looking to get back to those early February targets that saw the not the last round of NFP data, but the round before that, have a heavy influence on price action. And we saw not only gold start moving quite significantly, but the dollar pairs as well, as after there was a collapse on the on most of the dollar instruments. So we're seeing now the Fed looking to get back into its monetary policy tightening, but is it going to start delaying, pushing further to 50 basis points every time rather than 25 basis points? This is driving the dollar as well quite significantly. And if we look at the charts at the moment, just want to point out again on the daily chart, this big recession in the price action for euro dollar for most of 2022. This is when the Fed was racing basis points by 75 at a time. But since then, it's cooled off slightly, and we've seen pretty much these recession fears still playing a little bit of a part of moving the dollar as well. So at the moment, we're just wanting to take a look on this recent move in the dollar market just here, because the last time that we saw highs up to 110, as I said, was at the beginning of February. The NFP had just been released, really big numbers, over 500,000 new jobs being added at that particular time. And as you can see, the dissension in price action since then. But we've had this kind of triple bottom being played out as well since then, and we've had a very strong bounce in the near term. And obviously with the problem with the banking system in America, this has really driven a lot of the dollar's competitors in the opposite direction. So this is what we're seeing now. And will it continue? Well, for the last couple of trading days, as you can see here, we've had a couple of good bearish candles, but now the euro is starting to creep up over the dollar. So if we just take a look at the 4-hour chart, which will be a little bit more interesting because we get a little better price action movements as well. As you can see here, really strong bearish candlesticks since the banking crisis was supposed to be been promised that all depositors from Janet Yellen and the Fed will be paid back. But since then, we've had somewhat of a slight crisis in the banking area, and traders are looking to have a little bit more of an upside bias, and this is what we're seeing at the moment. Not too much in the way of divergences, but as you can see on the RSI, it's very overbought here. So there was always that notion we would get a pullback and a correction before we get another move to the upside. So the next target at the moment, even though we've just moved over the 108 handle, we're looking at 110 as being the next serious resistance zone. So 109 is expected to be broken at some point this week, and then we're going to have possibly another push to the upside. So not very far away from the 109 handle. We're just playing around in the early stages of the 108 area, and so this is expected to be at least tested by the end of the week, especially with all the banking news coming out. Speaking of banking news, we've also got Bank of England Bailey speech that's just happened. He's reiterated that inflation pressures should be easing excuse me, this month, so going into April, sorry. So this is giving more of a pretense that the sterling or the pound will be more towards the upside against the dollar, which is what we're seeing now. The last few days, if you look at the 118 handle, the lower part, and now we are trading just above the 123 handle. So very strong movement to the upside there. We are now in the region of being tested again for these recent resistance areas that we saw time and time again. So again, the back end of the year of 2022, and then when we had the NFP results, we saw these very bearish candles, and then cable got into a pretty much bias downward channel. But since then, as you can see, we've broken through that, and we are now heading back up to the upside. So again, a little bit like the euro dollar, excuse me, we're now looking into the 125 territory if we can excuse me, get to this past this previous resistance as well. But with the assistance of the Ichimoku cloud, as you can see here for the 4-hour chart, we are trading above the cloud, which gives us the impetus that price action is to the upside now, and we will possibly start moving a little bit higher in the near term. But we've got a few resistance zones to get past. Excuse me. Obviously, the banking crisis is a big key driver for the last couple of weeks for not only the dollar but gold as well, and we're seeing that really flourish into the fundamentals as well on the chart. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you're trading on. Just covering a couple of the main competitors of the dollar at the moment today, but we'll see what today's news brings and what we're in store for the rest of the week. So have a great trading day ahead and join me next time. Bye for now.